Okay, it seems to be time for us to come to order here. I'd like to call into session our call meeting Thursday, June 30th, 2016, with a record at 7 o'clock. We have 4 items for consideration tonight, some of which are routine that we normally do at this end of the year. The first item, of course, is consideration of ordinance amending the Town of Nashville Code of Ordinances, Chapter 8, Article 5, by establishing a municipal service district entitled Downtown Revitalization Municipal Service District. If you remember last night, we had a public hearing on that, which there was no comments. And we're now required by this strange law to have 2 public hearings on the same issue, which we did last night, and we're meeting again tonight. So it's time now to approve this thing. Does Jerry motion to approve the ordinance?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the ordinance as it's been established and read last night. Is there any discussion? There being none, all in favor indicate so by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Okay, it is passed. Item B is consideration of ordinance amending the Town of Nashville Code of Ordinances, Chapter 8, Article 2, amending privilege license. The ordinance, which I normally read, is quite lengthy, but I will read the beginnings of it as required. And what is happening here, the legislature has done away with the privilege license, which is how we kept all the businesses in town. And what we're trying to do now is establish a registration fee of $20 just to keep up with who is in town. Okay, let me read the pertinent portions here. An ordinance amended the text of the Town of Nashville Code of Ordinances, Chapter 8, businesses. Whereas the Town Council finds that North Carolina General Statute, Section 168A-194, has been amended by the North Carolina General Assembly to provide that the privilege licenses required by the Town of Nashville and local businesses may no longer provide for a tax. And whereas the Town Council recognizes the amended statute continues to permit municipalities to issue business registrations for the effective regulation of commerce within those municipalities, and now therefore be ordained by the Town of Nashville, by the Town Council of the Town of Nashville, that the Town of Nashville Code of Ordinances be amended to reflect the following changes to Chapter 8, Article 2, privilege license, by deleting Article 2, privilege licenses in its entirety, and by adding Exhibit A, of course, being Article 2, business registration. And business registration moves on for several pages discussing things, and the comeuppance of it is that the registration fee will be $20.
Mayor Street, I have a question.
Yes.
The administrator, it says the tax collector, and who specifically might that be?
Our tax collector is, Earl says it for the tickets.
Tanya.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's the one who administers it and...
Collects the money. Our tax administrator is Ben. Pam is just kind of the transfer of money person. Okay, does Chair motion to approve the ordinance? For me. Then moved and seconded to approve the ordinance concerning business registration. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor indicate so by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Okay, it is so done. You will notify the businesses, Mr. Manager. Okay, the next item deals with a budget amendment, shifting money from our fund balance and adding money to these different things. Would you mind explaining the technicality on this since the auditors got into it, Mr. Manager?
Yes, Mayor. This is for our Fund 73, which is our sidewalk capital project. And this is for our auditor's recommendation that they want us to be able to show this $136,250 in this line item quarterly for auditory purposes. So it's not an extra expenditure, it's just showing it on our records.
It's Chair motion to approve the amendment.
Okay.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? There being none, all in favor indicate so by saying yes.
Yes.
Mayor Street, have you heard anything about that additional funding for the sidewalk?
No, the last conversation I had was last Monday when I showed her the budget. And she seemed to think it was a good idea. She talked with the speakers, dispersing the money, and she seemed to think we got a good chance of getting it. So we'll just have to be present now, which I will do. I hope we collect Okay, the second item is also a budget amendment that some of our auditors wanted done to show some money in and out in terms of, I guess, double entry bookkeeping. Would you explain that to Mr. Manager?
Yes, Mayor. This relates to our safety project. We purchased a pump some time ago for the safety project, and that was given to us. Safety gave us the money up front to purchase the pump, and we're paying it back interest-free. So we had previously shown it in our line items as capital outlay, but the auditors have recommended that this is technically a loan as they see it, even though it's interest-free, so they want us to be able to show the money and a line item for loan principal.
So there's no more money, it's just
Same dollar amount, it's just
moving to
what
their
line item it's categorized as.
Okay, that was at $60,000. Yeah.
So this is a portion of the loan.
Right. One payment.
Okay.
The chair motion to approve the amendment.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the amendment. Is there any discussion? There being none, all in favor indicate so by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Accordingly, it passes. And the last budget item is the things that we did, I'm sorry, the next to the one is the one that we always do at the end of the year to balance out money within units or within established line items to get everything balanced up to the end of the year. I don't think there's any revelation or things there. We'll do it as we always do. The chair here motion to approve this list of movements. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? And there being none, all in favor indicate so by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Accordingly, it is passed. And the last item, of course, deals with transfer of money from the water department to the sewer department to handle an increase in surcharges in sewer, which has been enormous this year. The chair here motion we approve this amendment. It's been moved and seconded that we approve the amendment as stated. Is there any discussion? There being none, all in favor indicate so by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. Accordingly, it's done. And the last item we have is to approve the budget ordinance to put us in business for next year, which I will read in its summation. This is the Town of Nashville fiscal year budget, 2016-2017 budget ordinance. Whereas the town manager has presented to the town council of the Town of Nashville a proposed budget for the fiscal year 2016-17, and whereas the town council conducted a public hearing on June 29, which was advertised on June 16, 2016, and June 23, 2016 in the Nashville Graphic, a local newspaper with general circulation. Now therefore be ordained by the town council of the town of Nashville that the 2016-2017 fiscal year budget is adopted with the revenues and appropriations by fund as stated in the summary of funds for fiscal year 2016 and 17 showing estimated revenues and appropriations are subject to the following. Section 1, the tax rate will be set at 56 cents per $100 of assessed valuation, which is the same rate we've had since 2007, with the vehicle license tax set at $12.50 per registered vehicle. In Section 2, the budget officer, the town manager, is authorized to transfer monies from an appropriation to within the same fund not to exceed 10% of the total fund. Any such transaction shall be reported to the town council at the regular meeting and shall be recorded in the minutes. Budget document is accepted, made part of this ordinance and is on file and also the town clerk of the town of Nashville. Section 3, Town of Nashville General Fund Summary, 2016 and 2017. Estimated revenue is $5,502,169. Appropriations for a total $5,502,169. The enterprise fund summary for the same period, 2016-2017, has an estimated revenue of $3,222,300 and a total appropriation of $3,222,300. And the grand total of all funds of the town of Nashville, the general fund is $5,502,169. Enterprise fund is $3,222,300, so the grand total of all the funds available is $8,724,469. With the date of adoption being this date with appropriate signatures and attestations. We had a public hearing on this last night and everything seemed to pass muster. We were in balance and everything seemed to be good. As chair, a motion we approve the budget ordinance for 2016 and 2017. Okay, it's been moved and seconded that the budget ordinance be accepted. Is there any discussion? There being none, all in favor indicate so by saying yes.
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 Opposed, no. We're funded for another year. Okay, are there any comments before we adjourn? Yes, sir?
After we discussed last night the minutes, I went back and pulled up our charter, and I looked through all the pages of the charter, and the word minutes are mentioned 3 times in the charter, and in all 3 places it doesn't specify how the minutes should be taken, only that they should be taken, and it references the general statute of North Carolina as to how we should do that. So I pulled up the general statute on the website, and if I could, I'm going to read Part E for you. It's General Statute 143-318.10, space E. It says, every public body shall keep full and accurate minutes of all official meetings, including any closed sessions held pursuant to General Statute 143-318.11. Such minutes may be in written form, or at the option of the public body may be in the form of sound or video in sound recordings. I also pulled up from the UNC School of Government's website on how minutes should be taken by the clerk's office. This is authored by Mr. Fleming Bell II. And on the second paragraph under the heading minutes, second paragraph, it says the minutes prepared by the clerk must be full and accurate per general statute. For they are the legal evidence of what the governing board has said and done. The board speaks only through its minutes, and their contents may not be altered, nor their meaning explained by other evidence. Full and accurate does not generally mean, however, that the clerk must take verbatim transcript of the meeting's proceedings. The document goes on to say that taking verbatim minutes is actually counterproductive for most town councils to do, but it also gives a circumstance later where verbatim transcript should be done, and that is in quasi-judicial hearings where they should be taken verbatim. And so that's coming again from the UNC School of Government. So in light of looking at our charter and the general statutes, what they allow us to do, I'd like to make a motion that we would change our policy on how we proceed with our minutes to more align with the article from the UNC School of Government and some documentation coming to town clerks on how that they should conduct minutes or whatever, to show that only the main topics and things like that should be done. There's a whole document talking about this.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
There's a second.
And there's a second. Is there a discussion? Yes, there is. When you say do minutes as accurately as possible in your motion, what did you mean by that?
This,
Can we take our video recordings of this and send them off to the archive people and say these are our minutes as certified?
Well, the
That's
problem,
not going to save, that's not going to fly.
the problem with that is I would have to constantly maintain and update the audio, and audio's only been for about 10 years, so we would have to transfer the media every 10 years.
Now, as for digesting the generalizing minutes, okay, there's a complication to that as to what we generalize. We would have all of us together get together and determine what we would take out of the verbatim minutes.
I would recommend that we follow the guidelines listed in this article and all of the things on
And
the.
they are. What are the guidelines?
It's a 10-page document, it's pretty lengthy or whatever, and it pretty much goes through the different sections, how they should be recorded and how they should be done. Like that. From my understanding, Fleming Bell is a lawyer that the UNC School of Government used to be an instructor there, and he's kind of one of the experts on the statewide. So this is a general recommendation. So I would recommend that we would align ourselves with what the UNC School of Government.
Okay, before we start aligning ourselves with the School of Government, how far are we out of alignment with them now?
Well, verbatim minutes is not something that is suggested. They actually, in the article, says it's counterproductive. So,
I heard of that.
right. So, bringing us into alignment would be, making sure that our minutes do include any motions. But when we have discussions, it can be summarized. Things like, basically, it doesn't have to be a verbatim transcript of everything we talk about, just the highlighted key points.
I have no problem, it's all to make sure we don't lose anything.
Yeah, but after the clerk transcribes everything, gives it back to us for our approval, if there's anything that we deem has been omitted or has not been clearly stated, then we still have the liberty to go ahead and go back and make amendments to that.
Right. But by the time she's done everything verbatim, the issue's solved. Because if we go back then and try to generalize it from verbatim, then we do the same work twice.
The problem with verbatim, Mayor, in my opinion, the only problem I see in verbatim is if I am upset, I use a term of profanity rather than thinking about it, it has to be put in the minutes. And then anybody reads it, then I'm going to. That's the reason they say that verbatim can be counted verbatim. Because even though we're discussing things supposedly off the record, if we're in there, it's on the record.
That's exactly. Reading passion without feeling passion is not the same thing.
Right.
And another benefit to it is the fact that our town clerk, who is also our HR manager, spending, I think I read last night, 117 hours thus far this year transcribing verbatim minutes when she could be doing other things more important. But because of her position, she has to be able to do the minutes, so I can't delegate that to her own position.
Right. I don't deny any of that. Now, what do you suggest? Create yourself a committee of one to solve the problem and bring us a recommendation.
Sorry.
Sir?
I'm sorry, I didn't follow.
I said, what do you recommend? Create yourselves a committee of one to work with the clerk to find out how we want to do this and bring us a recommendation.
Now, I recommend that we follow what the article in School of Government says, and there's some other literature that Lou, I guess, got from some training that she went to, that our manager provided to me, that talks about minutes and how the town clerk is to take.
Well, would you take the document you've got and have it published and distributed, let everybody read it and see what it is, and we'll come back and talk about it some more. I very much agree with you, it's right, what we do is right.
Call the question.
And the question has been to make a motion to go with not making the minutes verbatim.
You made a motion, he seconded.
That's right, the motion's been made and seconded. All in, as for discussion, all in favor of the motion, again, so we're saying yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes, 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 no. It did pass. It did pass. By majority. Now, once this is passed, somebody's got to do some work with this thing. And who wants to do the work? Go look over where he's got the little signature. Come back and tell us. Okay. Good. Good. Is that okay with everybody? Can we hear back from the next meeting? Okay. We'll put that on the agenda. Okay. Other comments? Yes, sir.
We previously had a session where we met and discussed the purchase of an infrared machine and an asphalt recycler. I'd like to, and we made those purchases, I'd like to report that those items were received by the town at November 30th. And we're going to have training for our employees on how to use those pieces of equipment on Tuesday.
Okay. And when's it going to be available for demonstration? I want to watch the thing for
That would be
I don't think we all do. That will be Tuesday also.
Yes, sir.
Well, let us know what time.
So, make it late after next week.
Yeah, that's good, because I got a doctor's appointment. As a matter of fact, around lunch, which I can't miss, because I got
Probably the best, make sure we get the morning we can to know what they
know what
You know what they're gonna show us.
Right. Well, bring it over to my neighborhood, melt trap, and up front of my house and demonstration. Okay. Okay. Let's see, where are we? Ready to close? Chair, motion adjourned? It's been moved
Okay, sir?
and seconded that we adjourn. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor, indicate so by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed, no. We are adjourned. Everybody have a happy 4th of July. Thank you for coming.
I'm gonna say.